my name's Megan and I'm a Year 2 BA Education student.
Hi, my name's Chloe and I'm a second year BSc Education and Psychology student.
Hi, my name's Catrin and I'm a BA Education student.
Hi, my name's Millie and I'm also a Year 2 BA Education student.
Hello, my name's Emma and I'm also a Year 2 BA Education student.
Hi, my name's Beth and I'm also a BA Education student.
Okay, so let's start by looking at something we think everyone should know before we go to university. Emma, do you have anything you think people should know before they start uni?
I think the important thing to remember before starting university is it's a learning environment which you will have never experienced before. It's totally inclusive, which means that everyone just wants to get to know one another. Everyone's really friendly. It's nothing like when your teachers will tell you, right, you've got homework due this week, you've got homework due that week. You're totally independent. So you are your own person, you get to do what you like, and like I said, it's really inclusive, so you'll never struggle to make friends. You'll have a ball, you really will.
Does anyone have anything that they want to add on to that?
I would just say put yourself outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, I think that's a great point to add in there. And you've got to remember that everyone's in the same boat. No one's been through the exact same experiences. No one's already done the course or been to the university. So yeah, you're all starting on kind of that level platform. It doesn't matter what A levels you've come from really, because you build that basic understanding that you need kind of throughout the course.
And just to add on to Megan's point there, really, there's so many different initiatives that the Student Union set up, your schools have set up, our School of Education have set up socials. So there's always something to get involved in, or if you are feeling like it's maybe not your setting or you haven't settled in that well, don't worry, get yourself to these events and you're sure to have a good time.
So within the School of Education, we offer 2 courses. We have the BA Education course, and then we have the BSc Education and Psychology course. So we're just going to give an overview of kind of what we really enjoy about the courses and what we like about being within the School of Education. So I like the mix of kind of learning opportunities we have. Over a module, we'll have lectures and seminars. So lectures tend to be an overview of the topics you're going to be looking at, and you get lots and lots of information for those. Whilst in the seminars, we look at more practical work. So we do group discussions and yeah, kind of more theory reading and lots of discussion-based stuff to kind of develop those understandings and those theories, which I think great kind of to have that mix of different learning styles, which suits everyone hopefully. Catrin, what do you enjoy about the course?
So I really think that the lecturers, they really want you to do well, and they're always there for any help that you may need. And there's definitely, so we have personal tutoring sessions, so you get like a one-to-one time to get to know your lecturers, and I really think that's a good thing about the course.
I think that's been like especially highlighted throughout the pandemic. Obviously we've not had that normal face-to-face contact. So to have kind of those lecturers on hand, they're all very speedy with their emails and getting back to you to support you with everything, which has been great.
Yeah.
Millie, do you have something you enjoy about the course?
So our course is very close and we all got on very well. So there's no anxiety, nothing about mixing with others when you're put in different groups. If you're worried about the mixing with people that you're not really friends with on the course, we are happy to mix with and work with anyone, and everyone gets on so well that it just works so easily and no one has the anxiety there or is worried about it.
Yeah, definitely. We're nice and close and very comfortable, which is great, and that works across year groups as well.
Definitely.
Beth, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I really like the class sizes because we're quite a small group anyway. Like Millie was saying, we all get on really well, and that also benefits us with the lecturers, especially like in seminars. We can always like have group discussions and we always get on with each other, and then it means that you do form a close bond with your lecturers, so that if you do need any help, then they're always replying to emails and they do get back really quick, which I think is also great. Like you were saying, Megan, in the pandemic, because you do have such a good relationship with them, they're always there for you, which I think is really good.
Yeah, they've definitely been gone above and beyond this pandemic, definitely. Chloe, I know you're on the BSc Psychology, so is there any benefits for studying the psychology course?
Well, I think because education and psychology is across 2 different schools, you kind of get to experience what it's like within both schools. And when School of Psychology run events, you can join in with them. They run a lot of quizzes and things like that, and you can join in with them. So you get to know different groups of people. It's quite nice.
And do you experience different learning styles within that? So I imagine your lecture sizes are a little bit bigger because of psychology?
Yeah, the psychology ones are bigger, but if you do struggle within School of Education, they will help you. So the people from education will help you with the psychology stuff, even if you struggle. So it does work quite well.
Emma, anything you have to add?
My favourite bit about the BA Education degree is the emphasis it puts on research methods, which is quite unique to the degree. You get to, in year 2, you get to look at designing your own research project, so you get to hone in on your interests. So for me, for example, I'm really interested in looking at private schools, so I'm going to emphasise this in my research and just look at why it is that students who go to private school are doing better, or why their resources they have are helping their students. So you can do anything you like to do with education. It isn't just to do with schools either, and I think that's the important thing in terms of our education studies degree. In the fact that if you wanted to do your research project based on pupil referral units or grammar schools or anything in an educational setting, really, you can do. So it's really interesting just to put your passion into your work.
Yeah, that's lovely. And definitely in terms of the course isn't just focused on that teacher training side. So if teaching's not what you want to go into, and there's other routes, and I think research methods is a great example of that, looking at different areas of education, without having that focus on just classroom teaching, because there are so many different educational settings that we find. It's not just that stereotypical classroom. So we've touched briefly on career paths that some of our students take after studying their degrees. Obviously, being within the School of Education, the majority of our students do want to go on and do teacher training. So they do that through PGCE programs and SKIT programs. We have good connections within Lincolnshire on different school areas, whether that be primary or secondary. So yeah, those are the majority of what students want to go into, but others do have specialist requirements. Some want to go into psychology focused degrees, which I'll let Chloe talk about in a second. Others want to go into sociology, philosophy, and historical education as well. So working within museums, perhaps. We've got students at the moment who want to go into teaching within hospitals for children who have to stay in hospital long term. So it's not just that stereotypical primary or secondary school classroom. There's lots of other areas within that. Chloe, do you want to talk about some psychology focused career paths as well?
Yeah, well, I think the main ones to highlight would be educational psychologists, which people sometimes want to go into after, which is quite an interesting thing to look at, or working with SEND students, so special educational needs students, or becoming a SENCO, so sort of working as a coordinator for all of them and being the main person with those type of students.
Okay, so why come to Lincoln then? What is special about Lincoln? What makes Lincoln unique? Catrin.
So Lincoln's such a lovely small city. So you've got the high street bit at the bottom with like bars, shops, and everything's really close. And then as you go up the hill, you've got like the historic bit with like the cathedral and the castle, which is like especially nice at Christmas when the Christmas market's there. And also during lockdown, it's like a really nice place to go for a walk. So it's just so easy because you can walk everywhere. Like I've never had to take like a bus or a train in Lincoln because everything's so convenient.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a huge bonus point. And campus is obviously in the city centre as well. So if you have a break between lectures, you can pop onto the high street for 5 minutes and then come back again, which is, definitely a big benefit. Chloe, why come to Lincoln?
Well, linking to what Catrin said about how everything's really close, on campus you have your own GP surgery, which the students can use, and then you've got the Student Wellbeing Centre, so it's all really close access. If you need any support with like mental health or anything like that, the Wellbeing Centre's right there, so it's really good.
Yeah, definitely. Millie, what about accommodation? Why come to Lincoln? What's special about our accommodation?
So Lincoln has a lot of accommodation to offer on campus and off campus, but even when they're off campus, they are not far at all from everything. They're still very close, again, walking distance. So first year I lived in on-campus accommodation, and my experience was very lovely. At first, obviously, it was a bit daunting moving into a place with 10 people I didn't know, but it was a chance to socialise with more, make new friends. And it was overall a very good experience, and it's nothing to worry about.
Good. Beth, why come to Lincoln?
So like Millie was saying about the accommodation, when you're first moving to university, that's such a big thing. Like moving away from home for the very first time and having to like fend for yourself in a way. But especially with the university managed accommodation, they're really supportive. And literally just down the road from Court, so near Signet Wharf, which is one of the on-campus accommodations, they have the accommodation services where you go to report any like maintenance issues. You can collect all your parcels from there. And I think when you move away from home for the first time, and let's say your shower drain is blocked, you're a bit like, oh my God, what do I do? But if you just go down there and put it, they're literally with you and helping with the maintenance within at least 24 hours maximum. And then another thing as well, we have the residential wardens that walk around campus, and especially at night time, like if you're walking back from the library or like late lectures in the evening at around 5 o'clock when it gets dark early, when you're walking through campus, you do feel safe because they are there to support you. So I think that's a really good thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Emma, obviously you're a Lincolnshire student anyway, so you didn't travel to Lincoln. What were your experiences of that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the time students sometimes feel like maybe moving out isn't for them, or if they live close by, then they think, what's the point really? So I chose to live at home during first year and second year, and I know there's a lot of like rumours that go around saying, you don't fit in, if you live at home you're not part of the socials, or you don't create the connections that everyone else does. And I really don't believe that at all. I have been part of all the socials. I have a good group connection. I speak to the ed and psychology group. I speak to the education group. I speak to different years. So it really, really doesn't matter. So if you are around the area and you don't really fancy moving into accommodation, then don't feel as though that's it. University's off limits for you because you don't want to move in. It's totally wrong. And you definitely make connections, and I think it's just so personal to you. If you want to go out there and you want to make friends and you want to get involved in your course and you want to go to the socials, that even not just the socials that our degree puts on, but socials that the student union put on, then it's well within your limits to go out and explore what's on offer.
Okay, so some final closing things we think you should know before coming and joining us at Lincoln. So, Beth.
So obviously, given the current circumstances at the minute, you can't actually visit the uni in person for open days, but you can actually sign up to join the virtual open days, where they also have a live Q&A session. So if you have got any questions, no matter how silly you think they are, because all questions are important, you can just type them in on one of the open days, and I'm sure someone will get back to you. As well as the open days, if you're worried about not being able to see any of the accommodation, you can also view that online, where they have like 360 views, so you can look around like the whole bedroom and the kitchens and everything to make sure that the accommodation is the one that you want to stay in.
Another thing that you
Catrin.
can do also to look at like social things and societies is on the SU's website. You can see every society that's on offer. There's over 150, and one of them is an education society, which is an academic society where we do socials, we offer academic support, and also we offer like guest speakers, which may be of interest to some of you.
Emma, anything else to add?
So the important thing for many students is a chance to get to know one another and meet new people. So Freshers Week is amazing because you get to meet so many different people from all over, and you also get to take part in loads of different activities, and there's so many to choose from. There's something for everyone. The Freshers Week includes so much. There's open cinemas, there's golf like inside the engine shed. And also talking about the engine shed is a live venue that has different acts on. So we've had all different people, even comedians. It's great. It's a great time, and you're sure to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think it's important to stress as well that Freshers Week isn't just alcohol based. Again, like the activities that Emma was listing, the cinema and the golf, there's activities for everyone. It's not just about going out and experiencing the nightlife, although Quack, our student night at the engine shed, is always a great event. Millie, what about School of Education events?
So the School of Education do a lot of events to get you all involved, to get you know each other, and they do have a good high focus on Freshers Week linking to Emma. So they do a few things in Freshers Week to get you more comfortable and just to get to know people before you start. So for example, in our first year we did a day we went to a place called Jumping in Lincoln, which is a big trampoline indoor like place, and we got to know everyone. We had pizza, I think, sat down, had pizza after. We walked there and back, so it was time to just chat and get to know everyone and just make some more friends. I think in Freshers we also did quiz with pizza, which we have also done since. I think we did near Christmas as well, another quiz of pizza. And then also since the pandemic online, we have done a few quizzes online with the School of Education. It's a chance so we can mix with different years. Again, education and the BSCs can mix. We can mix with all the lecturers, and it's just a bit more of an informal way of communicating and getting to know everyone.
Yeah, it's really nice to have that kind of cross-year group link as well, to be able to meet. I know we're all year 2 students, but it's nice to meet our year 1 students as well as our year 3s, because the year 3s have already been through it, so they can pass on any experience. And it's a nice environment to be in. Chloe, obviously we're in a pandemic at the moment. What kind of things can we do online to start meeting people?
Well, I think it's really important for everyone to join group chats, because you can join group chats for your accommodation and find people that are in your flats. You can join it for your course. You can join it. We've got a massive one with all the School of Education with all the different year groups in it. And that's the best way to sort of communicate with everyone at the moment. But I think joining group chats is just such an important thing to do.
There we go. Thank you very much for coming along and listening. If you do have any questions, we shall pop the details on where you can get in touch with us at the end of this video.